You know, these things are always fun to talk about in dips because people seem to get all negative and butthurt when we do it. And here's what I will say is that I think we still have some very exciting signs for what are coming next still here in 2025. And there was a question from a community member that I want to address talking about $5 to $7 ADA here still in 2025. Is this going to happen? What are signs pointing towards? We'll discuss all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this was a question from community member Lemon. Glad I said that right. Appreciate the comment and the question. He said, avid believer here and strongly trust your analysis. Do you think we are still on track for $5 to $7 ADA this year? And I think this is actually a great discussion to have because right now we're obviously in the midst of a dip. Early week retracements suck, and they make a lot of people question where things can head here still for the rest of the year. And I want to remind everybody that, first of all, Q4s tend to be very good in the crypto market. If we take a look back at 2023, we take a look back at 2024, we take a look back even at 2021, 2020. Historically, Q4s just tend to be a time of excitement. People tend to be a lot more loose with their capital. They tend to flock more into assets. And it's like I was talking about yesterday, this pump is very different. This is more of a fundamental rally across the space, meaning that we have higher conviction than we've had at most points in this market cycle. And that usually tends to lead the way towards some pretty exciting things in terms of price. Something I wanted to show you guys here as well. Ow, it bit my lip. These three Cardano charts say ADA price is shooting for $1.25. So ADA price symmetrical triangle targets $1.25. So this is just from Coin Markets Pro and TradingView showed that this may be the path that we're on very soon. We obviously have a cup and handle building out. I was actually talking about this in my Patreon yesterday. And again, if you guys haven't checked out my Patreon, links in the description below, that'll get you into the Discord and part of our daily discussion that we're having there. But here's our cup and handle. That might be what we want to do next, break out from there. We obviously, I think somebody else asked me to show this here as well. When we take a look at our Wyckoff accumulation model, we are still playing into this to perfection. It's not really that surprising what we're going through right now because you basically chop in this until you break out. We're in this SOS phase. We're just kind of chopping around until we get this next extension. So everything right now is actually showing very promising signs for the rest of this market cycle. And I find this kind of interesting because I saw some people that were saying, oh, we're entering a bear market cycle. Oh, we're about to go on a significant drop. This is the end of it. And guys, the bull market peak indicators still a 0 out of 30. All right. This is showing that right now we're still nowhere near the top and you can do whatever you want. The fact that none of these have triggered and it's September and we obviously very early on in this market cycle talked about, a potential October, November peak. It's showing that, again, we're likely going to have an extended market cycle into 2026. Again, I would expect shakeouts along the way. I'd expect people to question where things are headed, and that's fine. Something I wanted to show here as well is Cardano ADA ETF likelihoods have surged to 92%. So this is an all-time high. They are actually projecting an ETF for ADA in 2025 now at its 92% likelihood. And I think obviously the big stance by the SEC change, the approval and trading of several other spot ETF products has kind of greenlit the way for the ADA to get one of these still here in 2025. And remember, there are multiple filings that include ADA. So you're talking about a big institutional demand change here in 2025. Okay. Now let's circle back around to this $5 to $7 ADA. And the reason I wanted to go through all these different things is I want to point out that there are a lot of things in motion. And I think it's very easy to forget the embrace that we're seeing right now, the shifts in institutional demand. One thing people forget about a lot is the conviction in terms of ADA holders. It continues to grow and grow and grow and grow, and the supply in the market just drops and drops and drops and drops. And the big thing that we need to hit $5 to $7 ADA is adoption. All right. Now this is why I wanted to have this discussion. All right. We're still sitting at the point where we have a lot of capital sitting on the sidelines in the crypto market. If we take a look at USDT dominance right now, you can see we still sit at about 4.48%. It's like I talked about in my video yesterday. Right now, we're at about the same. Actually, we have slightly more capital in the market sitting on the sidelines than we did at the start of this bull market cycle, which is a great sign. There's a lot of capital to move the market. Now, here's the thing: is maybe ADA goes on a run by itself and does what, you know, a Sui did or Toncoin did. And I think that that potential is there. It's like I've said, the coins that are really going to lead the way, especially into this traditional alt season like we're used to, are probably going to be those US based assets, your ADA, your XRP, your Algo, your XLM, your HBAR. Okay, there's big focus, there's big embrace on those right now. Maybe we even get some more information surrounding a strategic digital stockpile in terms of assets. And again, obviously ADA has been mentioned in that regard before. But apart from that, you're going to see a lot of assets move very similarly in the market. Okay, you need adoption to take place for us to really see some of these big extensions to those highs, to see that $5 to $7 ADA. That has always been my assessment, and it's been the big thing that's been lacking in this market cycle. Now, it's like I've been talking about. I think that point is coming. And maybe it still happens here in 2025. The one thing I want to mention is, you know, again, we're almost into Q4. Q4, although it's really good, you're also talking about a lot of people trying to fit through a very small doorway in a very short period of time. Okay, I'm not saying $5 to $7 is impossible this year. I still think that we have the potential to hit $7 to $15 in this cycle, but this cycle now seems like it's slightly elongated. That's what a lot of the charts and metrics are showing us right now. And so what that means is that those highs may not come until 2026. Maybe I'm completely wrong and we get a big burst of adoption. There's some big announcement that triggers retail out this side of the space, and you just get these major moons in the market. Maybe ADA does, you know, a 10x over the course of 2 months. Okay. I mean, frankly, we've seen ADA run 300% over the course of a month just last fall. So maybe that's what we're going to do. Right. But what people need to remember as well as the faster we go up, the faster we can come down as well. So maybe we do get that spike. Maybe we go on this massive rally, but then I would expect significant retracement off that as well. What I would rather have is this much more elongated rally where you're having adoption slowly take place, where you're having foundational strength just continue to hit ADA as time goes on. And then maybe we get up to somewhere in that high of $7 to $15 ADA, and maybe we come down to a quote unquote bear market low or retracement of like $3. That's all within the realm of possibility right now. And people need to understand that the crypto market is changing in a big way. The institutional money hitting the markets has changed, that the embrace is much bigger than it has been. And once the big amount of masses start hitting the market, I'm talking, you know, once we get to 10, 15, 20% of the world in crypto, things become more sustainable. You become a more mature market. The volatility lessens and lessens and lessens. One more thing I forgot to point to here is that the fact that we're hitting all-time highs in terms of open interest across the crypto space is usually a pretty good sign that we can see all-time high pushes, that we could see ADA push towards this, you know, $5 to $7 price range. But the thing is you need the confidence to move that direction. Right now, we've been sitting in this kind of neutral range for just such a long period of time, since all the way back here in the middle of August. That hasn't really changed. All right, everybody's just been kind of tiptoeing on eggshells, and there's been this just kind of lurking uncertainty in the market. I will say today feels a little different, and maybe that means nothing at all. Maybe the market still ends up on a red note today, but you're seeing the conviction just get higher and higher and higher. And I think that's a very important sign to just kind of watch, especially as we close out this month, hopefully on another green note across the crypto market. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of my thoughts on that. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do I think that, you know, $5 to $7 is still possible this year? Yeah, it's still possible, again, under the right conditions, but I still think that is definitely within reality for this market cycle alone. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.